Good morning, everybody. Well, it's so good to be here with you all today and to share a little bit about productivity, which is really close to my heart in building a business. But I just want to say a huge congratulations to all the speakers that have been before me. I think they've given everybody some real golden tips, some great nuggets of information, things that if you implement into your business can make a real difference. I've been in Forever now for 25 years. I was only 6 when I joined, so it's okay. And I've built a team in over 40 countries around the world. I've been on GLT now since it was first founded over 10 years ago. And I'm really privileged to be part of this company. I feel like this is home and that you are all family. And I think that when you feel like that whatever we do never feels like work. They say if you're passionate about something, it never feels about work. And I've built my business primarily to the size it is today based on the 4 core principles that this company have put in place for us to follow. I think these principles are also based on Rex's values. And you'll hear Kim Madsen talk often about in the spirit of Rex. And I think if Rex has put these core principles in place for us, that we should all learn them, adhere to them, teach them, but equally as importantly, learn how to measure them. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, learning how to measure and monitor your business, knowing how to maximize the profit centers, knowing how to increase the case credit value, knowing where to even look to do that. In other words, we shouldn't build a business by accident. We should build it by design. We should be the creators of our business, knowing where to focus on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. So let's just refresh our minds for a moment on what those 4 core principles are and how we can measure them. And one of the key principles is recruitment. And I wonder how many of you actually take your bonus recap out every single month and analyze how many people are joining your business on a monthly basis. And the way that we measure that is people registering with a minimum order. And for us in the UK, a minimum order is more often than not a C9 pack. Right the way up for us in the UK, Start Your Journey box is 1.17 case credits. Some of you have a 2cc Start Your Journey box, but whatever the value of the starting pack is, whether it's minimum or whether it's the entry level to assistant supervisor, what you need to be doing every month is just running through your bonus recap to see how many new people a month are joining your team. Because if you don't know that, you can't measure productivity. So how many people know whether you've got 20, 30, 40, 50 people a month joining your business? And if you don't know, I strongly urge you, the minute your bonus recap comes out, if you've never done this exercise before, look at the bottom of the bonus recap. It will tell you how many people you've got in your team. There's your starting point. Because next month, you will look at where you were this month, look at where you are next month, and if you've gone from 20 to 35, you know that 15 new people came into your team this month. And this is an important figure to manage. So recruitment is vital. And without having a recruitment strategy, a recruitment plan, then very often our business can flatline. In other words, you can maintain, but you'll never have that exponential growth when suddenly the numbers explode. If we look at the next area that we focus on by way of the 4 core, it's what we call retention. And retention, again, is very important. And if we're analysing our bonus recap, we're looking at people that have ordered products that are not an FBO. In other words, these are your consumers, your customers. And you need to know how many customers that you have personally. And if you're working with your non-manager business, where you have the most input, you need to know how many customers on average your active FBO is managing. Because again, this can be an exciting figure when you can see each month that your consumer base is going up from maybe 100 to 150 to 200 to 250. Because this has a huge impact on turnover. It could be, are you measuring what your new FBOs are doing? In other words, how many of your new FBOs are placing a second order? So often we see people join forever, we have high hopes for them, they buy their box, they're going to do it, but we never see them place a second order. And some of that we have to take responsibility for. Does our program, the process of 4 Core, the way we're working, encourage people, even show them how to place that second, third, fourth, fifth order? Because what we're looking for is a longevity in the way that people stay with us. Whether that's a consumer, a retail consumer, or a wholesale consumer, we're looking for people to stay with us. If you think about how we create our business, sometimes it takes a little while to get a new consumer. Sometimes it takes a little while to get a new FBO. And wouldn't it be awful to have put that time in only to lose them as quickly as we got them? So we need to understand how we build retention within our teams. And what I'm going to show you in a minute will help this area of building a business. But for me, it's about productivity. And this is what I really want to focus on today. Because this is where you can have the maximum input on helping your existing team, your existing consumers, be more proactive, more productive. And the way that we measure productivity in our team is very, very simple. We take the wholesale value of all of the orders in our business and we divide it by the number of active people that have placed an order in our team to get what we call an average order, to be able to work out how productive our team are. Let me give you an example, because once you get this, the magic begins to happen. And I'm going to share some statistics with you as well as to how people have really grown their business once they've really understood what I'm talking about here. So let me give you an example. Bonus recap. We all have them, and when we print them off and look at them, more often than not we go, what on earth does all that mean? How many of you have looked at your bonus recap and thought, oh my goodness, haven't got a clue, so just put it back down on the table? How many? Be honest. Because that was me. I'm not good with figures. You ask John, he never lets me do the VAT return because I will always get it wrong. But here's the thing. I could stay not being good with figures, or I could say, you know what, I'm a leader. I'm a GLT member. I'm an example to others, so I need to learn. And it wasn't until I took responsibility for managing my bonus recap that I began to see where I could grow my team from my existing business alongside my recruiting. So when you look at your bonus recap, and all of these bonus recaps are from people in my team of various levels, and all of these recaps were given to me at the beginning of sort of in the last 12 months. So these are real, live recaps. They're not made up. So if you look at this, this is a manager, and this is what we call a junior manager. Maybe somebody who's been a manager for a few months, and they're beginning to build a good turnover and a good distributor base. Now, the one thing that we've got to analyze is how productive are the FBOs in this team. And what we're looking to do is to start finding the averages so we can up-level them. We can up-level them. We can up-level them. And everybody thinks that if you haven't got everybody in your team doing 4 case credits, then you don't have a great business. And that simply isn't the case. Because there are 2 types of FBOs. Those people that join to build a big business who will be 4cc active, and those that join to buy the product at wholesale, to maybe build a smallish business, but they're more joining to belong, to work with the product. And very often, they won't be 4cc active. But if you don't know where your volume lies, you'll never know where to work to get the best from the FBOs. So this manager had a turnover in the month of February of just over $8,000. Now what most people look at is case credits and bonus check. And very often if all you do is look at the case credits and the bonus check and not the turnover of your business, you can get a bit despondent. Especially as you begin to develop managers and the volume goes to 40, 20, 10% of their turnover on 1 to 3 levels. Suddenly you see your case credits dropping because your non-manager business is building, and what do? You panic and you say, oh my God, my business is crashing. It's falling down all around me. I know you do this because I've done it. But what you want to do is look at the turnover. Look at the turnover. Is the turnover growing every single month? And then when you look at the turnover, let's see how productive our FBOs are. So what you do is you take the turnover, and then just underneath the turnover on your bonus recap, the company, very helpfully, have actually given you the number of active FBOs in your team. Now, when I say active, I mean they have actively placed an order. So what we do now is we take the number of active FBOs, which is 20, and we divide that number into the turnover of the group. And that gives us $409. So on average, this group is turning over per FBO $409 across the month. And what we do need to do now is turn that into case credits. So we can say, let's not get ourselves too excited about $409. What does that mean by way of a case credit? Well, we know that a case credit value in the USA is $307, which means this particular manager has got an average turnover per FBO of 1.3 cc per FBO. Now, a good rule of thumb is to have your turnover as a starting point at 2. If you can have every single FBO on average, because it averages out, turning over 2 case credits, then you've got a platform to build. And the exciting thing about this now is you can look at this and go, well, hey, this is a great manager business. I've got 20 people in the team. It's ready to grow. How can I grow the team I've got while I'm adding new people in? Because you now know that you've got to get this team productive to 2 case credits, which means we've got to add 0.7 of a CC to every FBO. Now you can begin to be productive. And I'm going to show you in a minute how that works. Let's take another manager. This is a manager who has been around a bit longer. They're still a manager. They don't have any managers yet. This is the easiest group to influence because it's them and their non-manager business. They're turning over $25,000. They got 41 people in their team. That's $614 per average FBO. Take the 308, and that's 1.99 case credits per active FBO. Now this is a good, solid business. So what you do with this manager team is you'd say, right, the next goal is 2.5. We're looking to jump in 0.5 increments. So what we have now is a real strong platform to go to work on to get this team growing, to get this team more productive. Not just to have a lot of numbers, but nobody knows how to measure it. Let's take another manager now. This is a manager with managers. And they're turning over $100,000 worth of productivity a month. And they've got 359 people in their team on various levels. Now what you're going to see is something quite interesting. $281 per FBO. We know that the CC value is 309. And we look at this and we go, oh my goodness, they're not even doing one case credit. But look at the turnover. Because remember, this is into generations of managers. So if a manager will analyze their managers, they can work within the manager group to make each manager more productive. Does this make sense? In other words, you are running your business. You see, we are forever business owners. We have a business to run. And if you're not running your business properly and managing it in all the 4 core areas, then you're not a forever business owner in the correct sense. Don't leave it to accident. So let's have a look at another one. This is a manager with managers. They're turning over 18,000. They've got 71 in their team, 265 per active FBO, which means they're doing 0.86. Now these were real live managers in the team. And what's really, really interesting is that when all of these managers who sat with me while I analysed their businesses got it, and then they went to work, every one of them 4 months later had growth. Every one of them. Rather than worrying about, can I personally sponsor enough people to hit my qualification? What they're saying is, yes, I can recruit new blood, but now I know how to work with the existing team to grow them as well. And once you understand this, you can have such an impact on your team and the productivity and the turnover of your group that the results come in all sorts of ways and areas. You will find that you will begin to break more supervisors. You will find that you will focus on the incentives and have more confidence in being able to achieve them. One of the biggest areas of challenge for most managers is their non-manager to qualify for Eagle and Chairman's. But the reality is you've all got a good, stable non-manager business, which if you work with them in accordance with what I'm going to show you, you can get more productivity from them, and therefore you can be more successful in developing people through to positions, through to the incentives, and creating such real, strong stability within your teams. So how do we do it? We've analysed our business. We can see what our average FBO is doing. We know that we've got to advance our FBOs to becoming 2 CC productive, then 2.5, then 3, then 3.5, and then 4. How do we do it? We've got the figures. What do we do now? Well, it's really simple. First of all, you need to look at team incentives. And I know that when you take a group of ambitious people and you pull them together, that you can put an incentive on where they love responding to bettering themselves. So for example, I have what I call an A and a B team. My A team are very simple. I give Susanna a call. I say, hey, Susanna, how you doing? How's the family? How's business? Look, I was just doing a little bit of work on the team recently, and I saw that your business is doing really, really well. I think that you've got the potential to go all the way to the top. I've got some ideas I want to share with you, some team incentives. Are you up for it or not? If she says she's up for it, then she comes into the team incentive. If she says she's okay, then she's a B team. Then what I do with my team incentive, I will say to them, look, this team is running at about 1 cc average within your groups. Let's work together to get it to 1.5 and then 2. And because everybody's excited, we go on a journey together. And the incentive could be a success day ticket. It could be a C9 pack. It could be an hour's coaching with me. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's not necessarily the prize, it's being part of being a winning team. It's being part of being a team that wants to better themselves, be more productive. You need to have a retail strategy. And at my training I'm going to do with Rebecca on, I don't know when we're doing it, Thursday or Friday, I'm going to talk about how you volume map a retail strategy. In other words, is your team being proactive with their retailing? Are they booking their own launches? Are they doing their own experience packs? Are they looking after their repeat business? Are they getting referral business? Are they doing the pop-up aloe stands? Are they creating a VIP Facebook group to put their consumers in so they can market all about the product to those consumers to advance them? So make sure that your team have a personal retail strategy. Don't fall into management mode. Be managing and be proactive at the same time. We can have a recruiting strategy. In other words, we can have a month where all of us work together to be far more proactive within our recruiting. You heard Jamila say it earlier. Where do you focus as far as your recruiting is? You need to have 3 methods of recruiting at any one time, and you need to focus, 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 focus. Again, don't let your recruiting happen by accident. Because if everybody in the A team recruited not 1 but 2 people in a month, the average goes up. And then if you learn to be very proactive in developing your new recruits by using the first steps to manager and good business building practice, they will have high case credits, productivity goes up. So it's a win-win for everybody. This is an area that I feel quite strongly about, and I think a lot of people miss it. I think when we recruit people, we assume that everybody is going to be an incredible networker. We want them all to be superstars. We want them to be manager in 5 minutes. We want them to be eagles in 10 minutes. And very often, if they don't step up to being an amazing recruiter on day 1, we tend to ignore them, or maybe we don't give them so much attention. And one of the things I like doing is recognizing those that maybe aren't going to be supersonic networkers, but can be supersonic retailers. In other words, help your retailers be the kind of retailers that will retail 5, 10, 15 case credits a month personal. Show them how to become outstanding with all of the retail strategy, with customer follow-up, customer care, and equally, customer retention. We've got people in our teams who may never go on and be superstar networkers, but with a little bit of input and love and attention from you, could double their productivity because you've shown an interest in them and you've helped them be the team's superstar retailers. The impact they will have on the rest of your team is phenomenal, Because what they learn and what they develop and the money that they earn, they share with others and they lift the whole team. I'll give you an example. I've got a girl in my team who I've recognized as a supersonic retailer. Her name is Sue. And I've done quite a bit of work with her over the last 2 or 3 months to make sure that she has really advanced her retailing. And it's just gone crazy. She retails between 12 and 15 case credits personally now every month. But you know what the beauty of that is? She now pays her mortgage and all of the household bills every month from her retailing. Think about that. No money worries as far as your rent or your mortgage or your outgoings are concerned, because somebody has empowered you to be an incredible retailer. So look into your teams, look at the people that you can empower to double, triple, quadruple their turnover from a retailing point of view. And then watch your average case credits go up. Team training to empower your builders. Take responsibility to bring your networkers together. Brainstorm network marketing ideas, brainstorm recruiting ideas. Have incentives for the recruiters and the team builders. Bring these people together where they're all, if you like, more alike than different. In other words, you see them again as your A-team, you want to empower them, you want to recognize them, and you want to lift them up. These are the stability, this is the bedrock of your business. And if you don't grow people, if you don't grow them to be the best they can be, then again, one day, you may turn around and they're gone. So you need to create an environment where these people can shine. And then I think today, more than ever, we need to create a community. I think we live in a crazy world right now. There's all sorts of politics going on in countries. There's all sorts of challenges, whether it be the weather, whether it be terrorism, whether it be currencies now that are deflating. There's just all sorts of stuff going on. And people live lives of quiet desperation behind closed doors. They don't feel they belong anymore. And the one thing that I think Forever is amazing at, as a company, is creating community. But we need to do that. Yes, we can still use our computers. Yes, we can still use all the platforms. But when you bring people together, heart to heart, shoulder to shoulder, eyeball to eyeball, that's where the magic happens. The belief kicks in, the productivity takes off. Because, I do webinars all over the world for 200, 300, 400 people a time. And I can be very inspiring on a webinar. I can give it my best shot. But you're sitting at home on your own behind a computer. And when I press end meeting, it's just you. And this is okay for part of our business. But when you're working locally, bring your people together. Recognize them, empower them, teach them how to volume map, teach them how to be good with first steps to manager, reward them, make them feel they are valued, make them feel they are somebody. Because in this crazy world we live in, most people don't even know who their neighbors are nowadays. And I truly think when you bring people together and you wrap your arms around them, you make them feel special, you'll get more out of them than you ever dreamt possible. And in turn, that changes their lives. Recognize everybody. Whether it's someone who's just done their first 1cc, somebody who's just done 4cc's. Recognize your big retailers, recognize your big networkers. Recognize your achievers on the incentives, your position achievers. Be so busy giving recognition that you don't need recognition yourself. You know, most people only ever get recognized in the real world out there for doing something wrong. If you think about a job, how often in a job does anyone say, "Great job, well done, we're proud of you"? You are of great value to us. We would not be such a great group without you in the team. How often do people hear that in a job? They don't. But they hear it in Forever, and they hear it in your teams. And I believe that we give everybody hope. We give everybody hope. When we believe in someone, we give them hope. And when people join this business, this company, this incredible industry, they join because they have a vision for a goal or a dream that they have not yet achieved. You heard Jamila say, I've got 6 kids, what can I do? Around 6 children. And then someone gave her Forever, and suddenly she had hope for a brighter, clearer, bigger future. That's what we do when we invest our time in people. We give them hope. So don't ignore the small CC orders. Don't ignore those people that aren't the big superstars. The people that are the quiet ones, maybe the ones that are a bit timid. If you see a spark of greatness in them, tell them. Give them hope. So from what I've shared with you, you're probably sitting in the room and saying, well, Jane, I hear what you say, but does it work? Does what you say work when you put it into practice? Well, I did this training to a group of around about 200 managers in the UK in January of this year. And the results from those that embraced it and worked with it have been incredible. There was a girl at the training called Natalie, and Natalie sat down and very bravely analysed her business. And she came to me and she said, Jane, I'm really embarrassed. I said, why? She said, my average turnover is 1.03 case credits. I said, never ever be embarrassed. I'm saying well done you for now taking control, because now you can start to be more productive. In 4 months, she's taken her turnover from 1.0, so 1, to 1.7 per average FPO. Now the impact that has on her bonus check, on her case credits for qualifying for chairman's bonus, has been incredible. And the team was there all the time. She just didn't know how to read her bonus recap to say, where do I work to be productive? Because when our case credits aren't where we want them, we panic and think, I've got to recruit, I've got to recruit, I've got to recruit, I've got to recruit, which you do. But what about looking into your team and saying, I've got to work, I've got to work, I've got to work with my team? I have somebody with you who also was at that training I did in January, and I want her to come up and share on the stage the impact it's had on her business. So wherever she is, Nicola, if you could just come and join me. Here she is. Come and join me on the stage. Nicola Evans. Over to you.
Hi everyone. Yep, my name is Nicola Evans. I'm a senior Eagle manager, and in January this year I attended a manager training in the UK, and I saw what you saw today, and it blew my mind. I thought I treated it like a business before, but clearly I didn't. So I went back and I looked at my statistics. And my statistics were 1.3. And I knew that Jane said I should get to 2. And if I got to 2, I had a strong foundation. So I shared that with my managers. And in January, I hadn't qualified for Eagle Manager. So I had quite a lot of work to do. But 3 of my managers had qualified. So I didn't know if I could do it. I have a very large business in the UK, and I have a very large business in the Middle East. So within 4 months from taking what Jane had shared with me, I shared it with all my managers, and we put an incentive, just like Jane said, team. We came together as a community, and within 4 months, myself personally, I achieved both Eagle Manager in the UK and also in the Middle East in 2 separate countries from taking Jane's advice. It's great, thank you very much, but that is a community. But the most important, impressive thing is that my stats went from 1.3 to 1.7, which I'm really proud of. And then in 4 months, my managers, there are 5 of them now qualified, not just 3, 5 managers qualified then as well, and by the end of the period. And one of the managers who's here, Bushra, went to 2.2. So it's just amazing. There's Bushra here.
Stand up, Bushra.
Give her a clap. She's incredible.
She's over 2 already, and now she's working towards 3. So well done, congratulations.
It's brilliant. So yeah, it definitely works. 100%.
So I think you said to me, Nicola, that you had over a 37% growth in 4 months as a result of implementing this.
Yes, but yes, we did, and we shared that with the team. So every month, I didn't actually incentivize them to give any gifts. I just said, as a team, we're on 1.1, 1.3. Do you think we could get 1 to 1.5? And they were like, yes. So I would recognize every little bit. So yeah, now that we're over that, they just love to be able to work a bit harder, and as a team, collectively, we do it together.
And you gave a lot of recognition?
Huge amounts of recognition. Do I give a lot of recognition? It's huge amounts of recognition.
And you've created an amazing community.
I think that's the most important
and
thing.
You've identified your retailers.
Yep.
And you've made them more productive.
Yep. And my recruiters.
And your recruiters now are being more productive as well.
Yeah, and what I think you find is we keep trying to chase for new people. But with your strategy, I think it's enabled us to look at the people we're bringing in and getting and looking at them. How many, what are their CCs? And as a team, how many, like you say,
correct.
Are hitting that? It's brilliant. It's very simple. I don't know why we didn't look at it before, but it works. And we're going to be bringing way more Eagles through for next year, and lots more retailers who love just to retail to get those 0.5 increments increasing.
So you're really giving people hope.
Massive hope.
Brilliant. Give her a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thanks.
And Bushra as well. So our future is balance, and we need balance in all we do. If we have a business where all we do is recruit, but we don't underpin it with productivity, then we don't build on firm foundations. If we have a business that just sell, but no recruiting, then we have a linear business. But if we bring the two together and we recognize how we can empower people to be more productive, then literally the world is our oyster. And I want all of you to write something on your notebook right now and start believing it. GLT. 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 And equally, for every one of you, I would like to see you advance to the next level of Eagle Manager. To be that example for others, to give your team hope, because they look at you and they say, if you can do it, I can do it. So always be leading by example. And I'll leave you with this, never quit. If you stumble, get back up. What happened yesterday no longer matters. We can learn from it, but it doesn't matter. Today is another day, a gift. So get back on track and move closer and closer to your dreams by focusing on 4 core, by taking responsibility to manage your business, by empowering the retailers and the networkers, and being more productive than ever before. I won't say good luck, but I will wish you all nothing but great success. Thank you very much.